Hi everyone, and welcome to Stamp with Angela. Thank you for joining me today, and I'm grateful to have you here for today's Facebook Live. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based on the North Shore in Auckland, New Zealand, and I come live each Thursday at 1:30 p.m. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the Branching Out bundle, which is photopolymer stamp set and some very cool dies. So I'll give you some ideas how we can make some cards just for general use, and also to make them into possible Christmas cards as well. So I'm going to show you the stamp set and things, and we will get started. I'm just going to check one of my lights as well, because just as we were starting, one of the bulbs went, so I'm not quite sure if I accidentally turned it off, so I'm going to just check that as well. All right, so if you are here, please let me know if you can hear me okay, and we will get started. So this here is the Branching Out stamp set. So all right, just bear with me as we have lights. Excellent. And checking that my computer is charging as well, because we don't want it to go out. So bear with me. All right, I think we're good. All right, so this is the Branching Out stamp set and dies. So this is in the mini catalogue. Great, you've arrived, you can hear me, excellent. So this is the mini catalogue, which came out in September. So if you check out page 50, you'll see this cool Branching Out bundle. Now I admit when I first saw it, it was these dies that drew my attention, and I was like, ooh, that's what I first wanted to get. But I actually thought, I've seen some different things with the Branching Out stamp set like this. Doesn't look the most exciting, but when you put it all together with the stamps and dies, two-step stamping, it looks really cool. So I thought, yes, that would be good to try and things. So you'll see it's stitched dies. So with these dies here, you'll see they've got the lines on them and they're layered, so you can kind of have different layers, which is really nice. So I like those as well. So great for backgrounds and things. Okay. So I started off fairly simple, using both the stamps and dies, and then I kind of sort of stepped it up, tried a few different things. I'll show you a couple of things I tried that don't necessarily work, and then we'll just sort of go from there as well. So this is a photopolymer stamp set, and you've got a couple of branches that you can use, and then the different leaves, as well as a variety of sentiment, which is very cool. So I started off with this here. So for all my cards, I've gone with the background of the Birch wood embossing folder. So this has been around for a while. I just kind of thought, because of the tree, that sort of wood grain look works quite well. And that's what I have used for this. So that's a 3D embossing folder. And I've kept this quite simple. I have embossed the background and then stamped, and just pretty much one layer. Even the sentiment is on here. I am denied of whether I stamp in the background or add embellishments, but I just wanted to show you what it was like, just like that. Then I decided what happens if I use a bit of blending and some bling and things like this. So this is the next card stepped up a little bit. So I don't know if you can tell the background. There's slightly different sort of tones. So if I hold up close, this one on the left is just embossed. This one on the right, I've actually sponged it with a blending brush to add a bit more color. You'll see the pattern come through more, and as you can see, I've sponged around the actual trees as well, added some embellishments, a different sentiment, which is from the set too. So we've got birthday, happiest birthday wishes to someone very special. I actually ended up stamping that one slightly lower down, so there wasn't sort of room for a sentiment, so that's why I changed it up. And then what I'll do is I'll show you a Christmas version after as well. But we're going to make this, so I'll show you what I did. And I'll give you some tips for cutting these out as well. So with my dies, there's different sizes. I have used the second and third largest dies. So these two here. And I've done a crumb cake layer for my big one. And then a white one for the inside. So I'm going to grab my machine and show you some tips for doing this. All right. Now we're die cutting, so we're going to use a 1 and a 2 plate. And you'll see my very worn 3 plates here. Okay, and we're going to put one of them down. So I'm going to put my tattiest one down first because, yeah, it'll be underneath and it won't matter so much. Now I'm going to move this here so you can see what I'm doing. All right, now if I put this down and if I put this, whoops, like so, and I cover it up, if I put that through, and I'll show you, because it's straight, even more so if it was something like this, whoops, and it was very straight, it puts a lot of pressure on the roller and it's harder to go through. So I will do that first just to show you, and then I'll show you an easier way of doing it. So let's cover that up. So we're putting a 3 plate on the top. Now I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to roll with, whoops, it's knocking my camera. So I might just have to come back and you can see it come out the other end. But listen, how can I do this? Here we go. It's going through the roller now. I've really got to push it over, quite a bit of strength, and then come through the other end. Quite a big chunk as it comes out. It cuts fine, but it's just more pressure on the rollers. So for my next one, this is what I recommend if you can, particularly if it's a piece cut ready to go. Instead of putting it straight on, just angle it slightly. Okay, can you see that? Angle it. That way it's going into the roller just a little bit at a time, and it's much easier to what's the word? Wind through, and it's less pressure on your plate. So let's have a go at that one now. Watch it come out. So it's on an angle, and I'm just rolling it much more easily. And there's not that big a chunk at the end either. So when you put it in at a slight angle. All right, so that's tip number 1. Okay. All right, appreciate those that are here today. Thank you for joining. I see Elizabeth's here, Felicity's here, Linda's here. Wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. And I know some of you will be watching the live later, and that's fine. Yeah, feel free to comment. Let me know where you're from, that kind of thing. Would love to know who's here. Right, I'm just going to get a scrap piece to put down, and we are going to stamp. Now, let me show you a couple of things with the stamps. So like I said, we've got this big branch and a smaller branch. I'm going to use this one first, and then we've got these. And originally I was like, why are there different ones? And I'll show you why. So I'm going to use Shaded Spruce and Early Espresso. It's Early Espresso, Shaded Spruce. And let's use the big stamp here. All right. And I'm going to show you the leaves. So I don't know if you can tell by looking at them, but these ones are more closer together. These ones are more spaced out. So when you're stamping on some of them, you'll want them closer together. For others, you'll want them apart. And there's also one by itself. So if you want to do some individual ones, you can too. So for this particular one, I think I'm mainly going to use this. So let's put this down. Now, I would normally use my paper piercing mat, but it's next door. So let's hope for the best. So I'm inking this up with my Early Espresso ink. And I'm going to leave room down there for a sentiment. So I'm kind of going to go sort of slightly more to the right and down a little bit. press and hold. It's a big stamp, so I don't want to get even pressure. Lovely. Then I'm going to come in with this one, which is closer together, and kind of match it up where some of those branches are. So I'm using shaded spruce and just sort of angle it to where I'm kind of happy, so they're not floating in the middle of nowhere. And you can just stamp solid. If you want to, you can turn slightly to the side and stamp again and get a bit more of a shadow. Let's try over here. So just keep turning it until you're sort of happy. May not be perfect, but no one's going to kind of know. So you can leave it like that, or you can kind of do a bit of a shadow. And up here, let's have a look. Probably about there, I think. Press and a bit of a shadow. I didn't do the shadow on my first one, but doesn't that look cool? Then I'm going to use that birthday greeting, which was happiest birthday wishes, and I'm going to use my early espresso for that, and I'm just stamping it down in the corner straight on the card. Now I'm going to try something a little bit different with this one. I am going to sponge, but I also wanted to try stamping something in the background. So you'll see that there are these little sort of dotty patterns. So I'm going to find that stamp. Hopefully I've brought it in. And we are going to stamp some of those in the background. Except, oh yeah, here it is, this one here, just to add something in the background. So, and we can compare the two and see what we kind of like or don't like. There we go. And I'm going to sponge a little bit as well. So starting off the page around the edge, the sponging really lifts that stitched shape around the edge too, makes it stand out a little bit more, and it makes it just not too harsh a white. And if you want to, you can kind of go in the middle too, or just around the edges, totally up to you. Isn't that lovely? Fairly simple, fairly quick and easy. All right, now what I'm going to do is adhere this together, so that frames it, makes it stand out. So I'll get so this one I'm gluing together, but then for the next layer I'll use dimensionals. You could use dimensionals here if you wanted, totally up to you. Now sometimes the glue gets all that gunky stuff on it, so we're going to pull that off and then hope it will come out more easily. If not, we need my pokey thing, which is probably next door. All right, let's see if that's enough. All right, and adjust it. But doesn't that look nice with the framing and then a bit of sponging as well? So for my card base, I am using Early Espresso. I am using crumb cake, which I have embossed with the bird, what's it called? Bird. Oh, now I've forgotten. Birch whip. This embossing folder, and I'm also going to sponge this to make it stand out and sponge with that. So getting my crumb cake and sponging this as well. We really only need to go around the edge because something will be in the middle. So can you see the difference between the two ends? So this is optional. You don't have to do it, but it looks quite nice. We are going to adhere that onto our card front. Got a different glue this time. There we go. And put that on our card front. Lovely. And then we're going to put this on with dimensionals, which are here. So I'm going to put 4, 1 in each corner and 1 in the middle. And use my take my pick tool to pull off the back. There we go. Let's put it up the right way. like so. So let's just compare the two, and then you can help me decide if we're going to add some embellishments to it as well. So the first card was this. So there was no sponging, there was no background. Which do you like? So what do you reckon? So I see that Felicity says these are her go-to dyes as well. They're very cool dyes. I do like them. They're very nice. Embellishments, we've got these gold druzy ones that we could add. This is what we did to this card. So shall we add a couple of those? It's always nice to add some sparkle. And kind of a triangular sort of shape. Do one over there. All right, so there we go. 3 sort of versions of the same kind of cards and colouring. How's that? Do you like that? Any thoughts on what you like or anything? Let me know. Cool. So now we're going to step it up a little bit, or just change it up a little bit and make it a bit more Christmassy. So I'll put these away for now. I'm going to come in with one of my die cut shapes when I can find it. Here we go. So I've done this earlier. And a slight mark on that one. This time I'm going to use this, and I'm also going to do a Merry Christmas. So I'm using the traditional labels, and I'm going to use Merry Christmas. It's very big, so we're actually going to stamp this first. So this is what we're going to look at making to make it a little bit New Zealand and sort of Pohutukawa-like, our Christmas tree, right? So to make sure I can get it all in, I'm going to stamp the Merry Christmas first. And we might change up the colours in the background as well. So we're going to do the Merry and the Christmas in 2 different parts. I did try it in the red, stamping it red, but then there was a lot of red, and so I wondered if that was a bit too much. So I'm umming and ahhing between real red and cherry cobbler. This is real red. What are your thoughts for the Pohutukawa tree? Do we do real red or cherry cobbler? Just looking through the comments and things. Let's have a look. All right, let's do, actually I'm not going to stamp that in red. I'm going to stamp it in the early espresso, so a more neutral colour. You could always gold. Very dark on the S, but that's okay. And my Merry. So they are 2 separate stamps, which is quite good because you could have it next to each other or above each other. It makes it nice and flexible. Oh, no pressure now. Merry Christmas. Oh, I like that. That looks pretty good. Cherry cobbler, says Sonia. Okay, so that was real red. Let's try cherry cobbler as a comparison. I know it is a little bit hard to see on a video than in real life, but we'll try both and then we'll see what we like. So this time we're going to use this one. And I'm going to have it kind of up here, like so. Hopefully it's not going to go over our Merry Christmas. So now we're going for cherry cobbler. So if I try and put this here, it doesn't quite fit. So this is when we're going to use our bigger one. And if you have a look, is it? Oh yeah, it's going to fit like so. Brilliant. So cherry cobbler, I've opened it. Where have I put it? Okay, so cherry cobbler this time. Well, that's very dark. And we're going to do a little bit of stamping off. So it's a bit of a shadow. Quite dark. Then we will use this one for up here, this branch. Line it up. Keep just moving it until you're happy with it. You could leave it as is, or you could do a little bit of a shadow kind of thing. How's that? That's pretty cool. Then we're going to blend. We're going just to soften the background so it's not so white. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but I did smudge slightly there. So I'm worried that this might smudge slightly. So what we might try and do is, I'm going to do another one. I'll do my Merry Christmas first, and we're actually going to blend first. So I'm going to do it again. We'll do one with blending, one without. So I'm just doing that. I'm trying to do this a bit faster. Oh, hopefully it's going to be okay. And our branch, we can compare the two. So now I'm going to do my blending so I don't risk smudging that red ink. So I need my crumb cake, which you would think I just had. So where did I put it? I've closed it and can't find it. It's on the chair. All right, so I'm going to sponge now so it doesn't smudge the red colours. So we're going to go for a bit of sponging and crumb cake. And you can tell me on this one, do you think we should add the dots in the background or not? Maybe we will on the other one. All right, so now we're going to use our cherry cobbler and do what we did before. So the big one down here. A bit of like so, and then our smaller one over here. There we are. Well, it's quite close there, but that's okay. Dots. Linda says dots. So maybe we'll add dots on this one. So I use crumb cake. So which is crumb cake? Crumb cake is up here. We'll do some dots in the background. So this is the unsponged version. How's that? Then we've got to decide what to mount it on. This one, do we add dots to that one or not? Oh, thank you, Natalie. She said it looks lovely. It's good to see a few of you on here. Wonderful. So Elizabeth says real red. Sonia says, yeah, I couldn't decide. So some said real red, some said cherry cobbler. So I'll show you the comparison. So this was the real red and this was the cherry cobbler. So now that you've seen both, what do you think for our Pohutukawa tree? I'm thinking maybe real red, but who knows? All right. Now I should have another die cut frame ready to go. And the only one background, I think. Here we go. But I do have a green one. So as you can see, I did green. Because I didn't want, we could try red. I don't know if red would be too much. I don't have one pre-done. And that's it on brown. So all sorts of possibilities. I'm going to close these so I don't get ink where I don't want it. I'm going for the same base. I'm doing this on here. So we'll try a couple of variations and you can see what we think. And crumb cake again. I just like to sponge it because it brings out that pattern so much more. Do you ever tend to sponge your embossed backgrounds? I don't always, but I am on this one. Okay. Which is out. Oops, yeah, that's definitely coming out. There we go. All right. Looks like it's not quite folded exactly in half. Let's just adjust it slightly. There we go. So I'll glue these together and you can tell me what you think. So maybe because this one's got brown sponging on it, we will put that like that. So for that one, dot or no dots? There we go. All right. So that looks quite elegant, I would say. So let's see what it looks like on the card front. Whoops, it's not quite straight, but that's all right. We've got a moment to move it, wiggle it. We're good. And then we'd put it on with dimensionals like so. So that's one option. This one here, what do you think? Would you do it on green as a contrasting colour, or with the cherry cobbler? I don't have cherry cobbler with me right here, right now, so I might have to try that later. But let me know what you think. And then we could add some embellishments, our nice sparkly gold ones again. Trying to work out where. I kind of like a diamond pattern, but it's quite busy here. Not diamond, a triangle sort of shape. So unless I did it kind of off the card, but I think it needs to be on the center. So there's a bit of a gap up the top. So I think we'll put 2 up here. And then maybe 1 there. I don't know. What do you think? Or down here maybe. Maybe there. It's sort of a triangle. There we go. But it's very, I kind of like it angled more. Maybe like that. Decisions. I'm not sure. What do you think? Does it need to go to the left or does it need to go to the right? All right, anyway, lots of things that you can do with this particular set. And I really like, with the branching out bundle, I really like these dies. These are the branching out dies, which are layered and stitched, which are great for background. An interesting shape with the little curve bit in the corners. We've got the stamp set, which has got a nice range of sentiments, as well as 2 different branches and your leaves. Now we can stamp pine cones if we want as well. Obviously there's more dies that we can add to our cards as well. So lots of possibilities there. Green and black with cherry cobbler. So this may look black, but it's actually early espresso. But I know with, sometimes it's a little bit hard to see. But I do quite like the browns with that. So there you go. So let me show you what we've made. And you can tell me what you like. So we're keeping it here very simple. Just white, no embellishments, stamping, nice clean cut. This one here, we have sponged our background and sponged this, add some embellishments. And our sentiment, because the way I stamped it, is going across. This is similar. Some sponging, not as much as this, but with the dots in the background. And it's got the happy birthday stamp directly on. Moving more to slightly more Christmassy. We've got this one here, still the browns, the early espresso and the crumb cake, but with cherry cobbler. And then this one here is real red. Now, I'm not 100% sure if I like the green and the red, because this is kind of the first introduction of the green. There's nowhere else. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure on those colors. What do you tend to like? And then we could also have the option, again, this is green, but putting that like so. Or maybe we try it with the red, so I'll have to have a play with that. So all sorts of lots of possibilities. So it's a really cool set, and it's lots of fun, particularly the dies, but the stamps are great as well. All right, any questions? Cool. So remember that is on page 50 of the mini catalogue, and you can use it, for different occasions and things, as well as if you want to make it Christmassy, you could too, particularly if you add like pine cones and things as well. All right, so I've got a couple of other things to share with you. So recently as a team, I've got team members from all around New Zealand, and we did a card swap. So when this new catalogue came out, if they wanted to, they had the option of making a card, either something from the mini catalogue or something from the online exclusives, which started at the same time. So I have asked, I'm not going to quite share all of them today because I haven't checked with someone if they were okay with me to share it. So I might share that another time. I'll start off with the card I made. So what happens with the swap is we find out how many people want to take part. We had, I can't remember, 6 or 7, and therefore we design a card, and then we make lots of the same, and then they all sent it to me, and then I mix them up, and then you get one of each. So this was my card. It's the piece Peace on Earth set with the two-toned cloud cover, which has been sanded there, and then I've put a little bit on the inside with the doves and things. So I've used this set quite a bit. If you are getting the 12 weeks of Christmas, there is a fun fold, a double diamond card today using this set. It's got the doves in it. It's using more of the papers and the glimmer paper as well, which is really nice. So that was the card that I made. Then we've got some other cards. Here's one here. Now this was from a team member, Jo Whitaker, and she said she was inspired from one of my YouTubes. So that's really cool. It's great how we get different ideas from each other. So she's used the cherry cobbler here and the Traditions of Christmas, which is a beautiful paper. So she's put that in the background, and isn't that lovely die cut on the gold, and then stamping a background as well. So this was by Jo Whitaker. So it's great to see, different ways that you can do it. And she's put it on a tag, which is the tailor-made tag dies, which is cool. And these are the words for the season dies. And I don't know if she did, but I would recommend when you do those is use a adhesive back sheet, because it'll make it much easier sticking it down. So that's a lovely card from Jo. I've also got a card here from, let me check, this is Lynn's, and it's using the Child is Born stamp set. Sorry, they're in a bag, so I'm just trying to find A Child is Born. So she stamped and blended, but we did a bit of blending today, and she's used embellishments, that nice sort of triangle pattern. Now she's gone for 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is cool, and even stamped on the inside. And a different color, which is nice. This is one of our in colors, Strawberry Slush. So it's nice doing it in something that's a little bit different. So that is a cool Christmas card that she has made. I've got here a very cool fun fold made by Linda. So these are using the deckled circles or some circle dies. The list for what she's used is here. Checking to see what it is. I can't. Yeah, deckled circle dies. And so it stands up like this. That's pretty cool. Now, the stamp set she's used is the Love and Courage one, which is supporting breast cancer. So that's really cool. And she's used two-tone cardstock as well. So this is by Linda Barnes, who's in my team. So she's down south. So isn't that such a cool fun fold? A lot of work gone into that with cutting it in all different pieces and making it fun fold. And of course, it folds flat, which is even better. So that's a very cool card. So mine wasn't a fun fold, but quite a few of my team have done fun folds, which is nice too. Now, have you seen these papers? Not very good. Aurora paper, I think. Isn't that stunning? So again, you can kind of stand it up like that, and it stands out, which is nice. And Secret Sea, one of my favorite colors. So it looks kind of like a normal card, but then you open it up with the beautiful papers and colors and things, which is very nice. Now I'm sure there were a couple of others, but I haven't got them all in front of me at the moment, and I want to check with someone else before I share theirs as well. But so I might share some more next week. But team swaps is something that my team members can participate in if they wish. There's no pressure to. It's optional, and it's a great way of making some cards, sharing them with others, and also getting to see what other people have. I mean, I didn't have that stamp set. I don't have those dies. I didn't get that paper. So it's a great way to see the different papers. And then if you like them, you can get them. So that's one of the things that we do as a team. And it's optional. Not everyone takes part. Not everyone can. Maybe not this time. Maybe next time. But often when a new catalogue comes out, we'll do something like a team swap. So on that note, if you have ever wondered about joining Stampin' Up, now is a great time. In particular, today, tomorrow, don't delay, because there is an amazing offer in October where you can join. So you usually join for $189 and get $285 worth of products. You can join for just $67 and get $285 worth of products. Or you can pay the usual $189 and get $407 worth of product. This is a great deal if you want to get like the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This one is good if you're not wanting to spend quite so much money, but still get a good amount of products in your starter kit. You get to choose what you want. Now you might be thinking, I'm not sure, do I, don't I? You might have been sitting on the fence. Why don't you sign up, give it a go? I've had a couple of people sign up this month, which is exciting. We've got our team. We're scattered all over New Zealand. You can give it a go and see if it's for you. Now, going forward, if you want to stay current as a demonstrator, and that we hope that you do, because there's lots of benefits of being a demonstrator, you do have to spend so much every quarter, every 3 months to stay current. And that can be your own orders or orders from others. Now, 3 months would bring you to the end of December, January. But because it's partway through a quarter, you've actually got until the end of March next year to meet that quarter. So you've got quite a bit of time to give things a go, see if you're wanting to order yourself or maybe get an order from someone else and that kind of thing. And I'm there to help you. So why not give it a try and just see? It's, lots of fun. Not just obviously the discount on the product and things, but it's the community. Like I said, you can take part in the swaps if you want to. We've got a team Facebook page, a team Zoom meeting. Now, not everyone can come to my team Zoom meeting. It may not suit, but that's okay. You can watch the recording when it suits. If you want to get involved more, you can. If you can't at the moment, no worries. Just what you can do is fine, and I'm there to help you if you need some help. So you're thinking, I'm not sure. We'll give it a go. If it comes to the end of March and you haven't been able to meet those minimums, there's a little bit of a grace period, and then no penalty. You don't have to pay anything back or pay extra money or anything. You just drop and you go back to being a customer. You gave it a go, which is great, but you can go back to being a customer. So it's lots of fun and worth it. There's the discount, seeing stuff early. There's the connection with the team and all that kind of thing. It's lots of fun, and you get access to more resources and things from Stampin' Up, and I share things with you as well. All right, let's come back to me. So are there any questions about today's project or the joining offer? If you want to know more, feel free to have a chat with me. This promotion ends tomorrow. So if you've been thinking about it, make sure you sign up today, tomorrow. Don't leave it quite to the last minute. It does take a little bit of time, obviously, filling out the forms. To be honest, the biggest part is deciding what to get with your starter kit. And make a big wish list. If you can't get it all in your starter kit, that's fine. They can be things that you get later on as well. So it's got to be within $5 of the value of, and not over, but either if you spend $67, then up to $285. So it's lots of fun. I'm grateful for all of those that are on my team, and I would love to have you join as well. So reach out to me if you've got any questions, and give it a go. And there's opportunities for events. There's an event in Sydney in March next year, which I'm going to. A couple of us may go to. If that's not for you, no worries. You don't have to. There's, you can make it work for you, which is great. Some people are just hobby demonstrators buying for themselves. Some do the odd class. That's cool. Some are like me, make more of a business, do Facebook Lives, all that kind of thing. But you don't have to. You can just do what suits you. Awesome. All right. So reach out to me if you've got any questions. I appreciate you watching this, whether it's live or the recording. If you're on YouTube, feel free to subscribe and like and follow so that you'll see any future videos as well. So thank you for your time. I look forward to seeing you again next week. And please reach out to me if I can help in any way. If you're not on my mailing list, please sign up and you'll get the 12 weeks of Christmas as well. We are nearly, not quite, but nearly halfway. So if you want to get the other tutorials, sign up and I'll be able to send those out to you. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you again soon. Thanks so much. Bye.